Yes, good evening to everyone. Today we have joined in Wednesday's Dhamma reading session and discussion session on Dhamma. Like before start of session, we will have homage to the Blessed One. You can all join for reciting Namo Tassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Buddham Dhammam Sangam Namasami. Yes. Today we have selected a topic from Dīgha Nikāya 6, which is a Mahāli Sutta, which we will be reading now. I am sharing the screen. Yes, this is I have started opening from Sutta Central, Bhikkhu Sujato translation, and it has both Pali and English side by side. Paul sir, do you want to read?
No, I'd rather not.
Fine. Long Discourses 6 with Mahāli on the Brahmin emissaries. So I have heard, at one time the Buddha was staying near Vesali at the Great Wood in the hall with a peaked roof. Now, at that time, several Brahmin emissaries from Kosala and Magadha were residing in Vesali on some business. They heard, it seems, the ascetic Gautama, a Sakyan, gone forth from Sakyan family, is staying near Vesali at the Great Wood in the hall with peaked roof. He has his good reputation. That blessed one is perfected, fully an awakened Buddha, accomplished in knowledge and conduct, holy, knower of the world, supreme guide for those who wish to train, teacher of gods and humans, awakened, blessed. He has realized with its own insight this world, with its gods, maras, and divinities, this population with its ascetics and Brahmins, gods and humans, and he makes it known to others. He proclaims a teaching that is good in the beginning, good in the middle, good in the end, meaningful and well phrased, and he reveals a spiritual practice that entirely full and pure. It's good to see such perfected ones. Here, this Dīgha Nikāya, we are reading from Dīgha Nikāya Sutta number 6, where it is with Mahāli. And it was the time when Buddha was staying at near Vesali at the Great Wood in the hall with peaked roof. At that time, many of the Brahmins were residing near Kosala in Magadha for some business. And they have known that the Gautama was staying near Vesali, and he has this good reputation. And those times, they were having a good reputation of Buddha that he is a full awakened, accomplished in knowledge and conduct, like we call in Pali, iti piso bhagava araham samma sambuddho Vidya Charana Sampanno, Sugato Lokavido, Anuttaro Purisa Dhamma Sarati, Satta Deva Manussanam, Buddho Bhagavati. There are actually, these are the qualities of Buddha which Buddha has on. And the qualities are, the Buddha, blessed one, is perfected, a fully awakened Buddha. Here, fully awakened Buddha means there is a difference between the awakened and the fully awakened Buddha and the arahant. In fully awakened Buddha, Buddha himself gets awakened because of his own realization. Accomplished in knowledge and conduct, he has profound knowledge and conduct. Holy and knower of the world, he knows the world, and a supreme guide for those who wish to train. Teacher of gods and humans. Yes, he is a teacher of gods and humans. And in many of the suttas, you may remember that many of the gods visit the blessed one and they pay homage to the blessed one. And he has realized with his own insight, like what I said was, he realized with his own insight with his gods, Maras. And what important thing, what Buddha tells is that the teachings which he says is good in the beginning, good in the middle, and good at the end. And it is meaningful and well phrased. And it is very pure. And it is said that it is very pure. And this was the instance where it was told. Here, the takeaway is we need to understand that the Buddha is fully awakened, means he has no defilements. And he is fully awakened in the sense he was fully realized by himself, by his own experience. And he started teaching to many people. And next, then it comes. Then they went to the hall with peaked roof in the great wood to see the blessed one, to see the Buddha. Now, at that time, Venerable Nagita was the Buddha attendant. The Brahmin emissaries went up to him and said, Varti Nagita, where is the Varti Gotama at present? For we want to see him. It's the wrong time to see the Buddha, he is on retreat. So, right there, the Brahmin emissary sat down to one side, thinking, we'll go only after we have seen the Varti Gotama. This was the monks which they went. They went to see the blessed one, meet the blessed one. But the attendant who was at that time told that Venerable Nagita, he told that the blessed one is in retreat. Then they have determined that they will meet and go the Buddha. Then again goes on. On Uttada the Lichavis. Uttada the Lichavi, together with a large assembly of Lichavis, also approached Nagita at the hall with the peaked roof. He bowed, stood to one side, and said to Nagita, Varti Nagita, where is the blessed one at present? The perfected one, the fully awakened Buddha, for we want to see him. It's the wrong time to see the Buddha, he is on retreat. Here, once again, the Uttada, the Lichavis, with large number of Lichavis, they also came to see, to meet blessed one. And they asked Nagita, where is the blessed one present? And Nagita as he answered in a same way to the earlier monks, he has also answered that it is a wrong time to see the Buddha is on retreat. And they also have sat down to one thinking, we'll go only after seeing the blessed one, the perfected one, the fully awakened Buddha. Then the novice Siha approached Nagita. He bowed, stood to one side, and said to Nagita, Honorable Kassapa, these several Brahmin emissaries from Kosala and Magadha, and also Uttada the Lichavi, together with large assembly of Lichavis, have come here to see the Buddha. It would be good if these people got to see the Buddha. Well then, Siha, tell the Buddha yourself. And then what happens is one of the novice seeing the large monks gathered there, then he asked, he says that he says the attendant Nagita for the Nagita that many people are waiting here. It would be good if the blessed one meets them, sees them. Then the attendant Nagita told Siha that you tell by yourself to Buddha. Then Siha told, yes, sir. He went to the Buddha board, stood to one side, and told him of the people waiting to see, adding, sirs, it would be good if these people got to see the Buddha. Well then, Siha, spread out a seat in the shade of the dwelling. Yes, sir, replied Siha, and he did so. Then the Buddha came out of his dwelling and sat in the shade of the dwelling on the seat spread out. Then the Brahmin emissaries went up to the Buddha and exchanged greetings with him. When the greetings and polite conversation were over, they sat down to one side. What happened was, in the meantime, the Siha, the novice, then directly went to the Buddha and said about the situation where many people are waiting there. Then the Brahmin, then the Buddha agreed that you please make the seat ready for seat, make the ready seat, spread out the seat. Then the Brahmin, after Buddha came, then the Brahmin went there and exchanged greetings with him. Then the real conversation starts here. Uttada, the Lichavi, together with large number of Lichavis, also went to the Buddha board, sat down to one side. Uttapada said to the Buddha, sir, a few days ago, Sunakkhatta, the Lichavi, came to me and said, Mahāli, soon I will have been living in dependence on the Buddha for 3 years. I see heavenly sights that are pleasant, sensual, and arousing. But I don't hear heavenly sounds that are pleasant, sensual, and arousing. The heavenly sounds that Sunakkhatta cannot hear. Do such really exist or not? What happens is there is one monk we can call, I think so, Sunakkhatta. There is one Sunakkhatta who went to Lichavi and said that he was living in dependence on the Buddha, and because of that he could able to see heavenly sights that are pleasant, sensual, and arousing. But what he was saying that he could not able to see the heavenly sounds that are pleasant, sensual, and arousing. The heavenly sound that Sunakkhatta cannot hear, do such sound exist or not? Then he asks. Then one-sided immersion. Such sounds really do exist, but Sunakkhatta cannot hear him. What is the cause, sir? What is the reason why Sunakkhatta cannot hear them, even though they really do exist? Mahāli, take a mendicant who has developed immersion to the eastern quarter in one aspect, so has to see heavenly sights, but not to hear heavenly sounds. When they have developed immersion for that purpose, they see heavenly sights but don't hear heavenly sounds. Why is that? Because that is how it is for a mendicant who develops immersion in that way. Furthermore, take a mendicant who has developed immersion to the southern quarter in one aspect, western quarter, northern quarter, above, below, across. That is how it is for the mendicant who develops immersion in that way. Take a mendicant who has developed immersion into the eastern quarter in one aspect, so has to hear heavenly sounds but do not see heavenly sights. When they have developed immersion for that purpose, they hear heavenly sounds but don't see heavenly sights. Why is that? Because that is how it is for a mendicant who develops immersion in that way. Furthermore, take a mendicant who has developed immersion to the southern quarter in one aspect, western quarter, northern quarter, above, below, across. That is how it is for a mendicant who develops immersion in that way. Take a mendicant who has developed immersion to the eastern quarter in both aspects, so has to hear heavenly sounds and heavenly sights. When they developed immersion for that purpose, they see heavenly sights and hear heavenly sounds. Why is that? Because that is how it is for a mendicant who develops immersion in that way. Furthermore, take a mendicant who has developed immersion to southern quarter in both aspects, western quarter, northern quarter, above, below, across. That is how it is for mendicant who develops immersion in that way. This is the cause, Mahāli. This is the reason why Sunakkhatta cannot hear heavenly sounds that are pleasant, sensual, and arousing, even though they really do exist. Surely the mendicants must lead the spiritual life under the Buddha for the sake of realizing such a development of immersion. No, Mahāli, the mendicants don't lead the spiritual life under me for the sake of realizing such a development of immersion. There are other things that are finer for the sake of which the mendicants leads the spiritual life under me. But sir, what are those finer things? Here basically what is the discussion being taken here is Sunakkhatta being with Buddha for 3 years, he has learned, he could able to hear heavenly, he could able to see heavenly sights which are sensual, pleasurable, but he could not able to hear heavenly sounds. Then the conversation goes on between the monks who have come and the discussion of the topic Sunakkhatta's experience. They tells, is it possible that heavenly sounds exist? Then the Buddha explains that heavenly sounds exist. And then they ask, why does Sunakkhatta doesn't able to listen heavenly sounds? Then Buddha explains by giving a simile that, let us say, if one is inclined in uh, development of seeing heavenly sights, only heavenly sights, and is immersed in it. Immersed in the sense, I feel it is they have cultivated in going through it, or having only one aspect dealing with them, that is seeing heavenly sights. Then what happens is, what Buddha is explaining is, when one is inclined only in one direction, in one aspect, then definitely he will not be hearing others, like he could not able to hear heavenly sounds which are sensual, pleasurable. And there is another aspect which is talking about is, someone may experience only heavenly sounds, sensual, pleasurable, but could not able to see heavenly sights. It is because they are inclined only for listening to the heavenly sights. Therefore it is said that if one is inclined in one direction, then it is not possible for him to get in that way. And one more instance where it was said that he has two capabilities, like immersion of having heavenly sights as well as heavenly sounds. Both things are there. Since he has two aspects developing in immersion, then he could able to see both the things. Now the important question here is, aspect is, our importance of, like, core of meditation is not seeing the heavenly sights or not listening the heavenly sounds. Is there anything important that, like people come to spiritual life for only for this thing? Buddha says no, it is more finer than this. Then Buddha starts the teaching of Four Noble Truths from here. The Four Noble Truths. Gopinath sir, do you want to read? The Four Noble Truths, fruits. But sir, what are the finer things? Firstly, Mahāli, with ending of three fetters. A mendicant is stream enterer, not liable to be reborn in the underworld, bound for awakening. This is one of the finer things for the sake of which the mendicants lead the spiritual life under me. Furthermore, a mendicant with the ending of three fetters and weakening of greed, hate, and delusion is the once returner. They come back to the world once only, then make an end of suffering. This too is one of the finer things. Furthermore, with the ending of five lower fetters, a mendicant is reborn spontaneously, will become extinguished there, not liable to return that world. This too is one of the finer things. Furthermore, a mendicant has realized the undefiled freedom of heart and freedom by wisdom in this very life and leaves having realized it with their own insight due to the ending of defilements. This too is one of the finer things. These are the finer things for the sake of which the mendicants lead the spiritual life under me. Here it explains, Buddha explains that what are the finer things which one experiences. Now I would like to use our TWIM boot section here for explaining about the fetters. And there's a very good tool which is available in our Dhammasukha website where we have it was basically the Bhante Ulransi teachings are there in it. And these are the 10 fetters which one may be aware of is lower fetters abandoned by the first three stages of awakening. First one is in Pali it is called as Sakkaya Ditti. I think one can able to see. Close sidebar. Yes. Sakkaya Ditti. Personality belief. Belief in having a permanent soul is one of the first fetter. Like they believe that this life is permanent, like this Atma is permanent. They believe. Second one, Vichikichi is doubt. And someone may be having a doubt about Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha or the path. Then this is the second fetter, Vichikichi. Third one, Silabatta Paramasa. Attachment to rites and rituals, believing morality and or rituals alone lead to awakening. Like there may be some people who believe only that only rites will lead us for awakening, rites and rituals. This is third fetter, Sila Batta Paramasa. Fourth one is Kama Raga, is sensual craving, which we recognize as a tightness present. Fifth one, Vyapada, ill will. Next, higher fetters are abandoned in the higher stages. Rupa Raga, craving for fine material existence in jhanic states. Arupa Raga, craving for immaterial existence. Like there may be some people who will be having that this very good dream, this human dream is very good, and they crave for it, that to have this state. And here the here it which is explaining is Rupa Raga. Even craving for the jhanic state is also a craving. Arupa Raga, craving for immaterial existence. And eighth one, Mana, conceit. I am a subtle form of self-identification. And ninth one, Udacha, restlessness. 10th one, Avijja, ignorance of the Four Noble Truths and dependent origination. And we have read about these 10 fetters. Now we will see the links. Let us say one is called a reached stage of Sotapanna or stream enterer. Then he has to eliminate first three factors. What one is personality view, like we have seen first one, personality belief. Personal belief is Sakkaya Ditthi, belief in permanent self, and he will not be having any doubt about Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, Adhipat, and he will not believe that rites and rituals will lead to awakening. This is, if one attains these three, then one can be called as Sotapanna. Here, the who will tell that he is Sotapanna or not? One can question themselves about these things, and they can know very well what in which stage they are. Second stage is Sakadagami, once returner. Here in stream enterer, if one attains this stream enterer, then it is said that they will be having only 7 more lives before attaining arahantship. Next, Sakadagami is once returner. Here, 1 to 3 is weakened, further plus weakening of 4, 5 are required. 1 to 3, which we have in personality view. Second one is doubt, rites and rituals. In addition to this Sotapanna, they will be having or weakening, not completely abandoning, but weakening sensual desire or ill will. And if one attains this stage, it is called that they will be having only one more life before attaining the arahantship. And next one, anagami, non-returner, is 1 to 5 complete removal of sensual desire and ill will. In earlier, we have seen there is a weakening of sensual desire and ill will. In this anagami stage, there is a complete removal of sensual desire and ill will. And arahantship finally is all 10 fetters are fully abandoned. These are the, and we will see how this approach of TWIM's approach. TWIM teaches that craving, tanha, is the key link in dependent origination that must be seen and released. Each time a meditator uses a 6R, when hindrance or craving arises, they are gently weakening the fetters. This is the key to success. Here, Bhante used to remind us that whenever there is a tightness present in our head, Bhante says to apply 6Rs. Like Bhante clearly says that when some tightness is present, it is an indication that there is a craving present there. Bhante Vimransi often emphasizes the process of abandoning fetter is not through suppression, but through relaxing and seeing clearly how they arise and how this is. This is how wisdom panya develops. For example, seeing personality view, Sakkaya drop happens as one sees clearly that mind and body are impersonal process, governed by cause and effect. Yes. Conceit mana is only uprooted at arahantship when even the subtle identification with I am is seen to be based on ignorance. And here it is said that when one is arahantship, then only the conceit mana is uprooted. It's very good difference which we have. One can refer always when they have any doubt at any time, or they can reach to any of our guides so that they will help you. This is about the finer things which Buddha told about it. And we will read this Noble Eightfold Path, and then we can end the session. But sir, is there a path and practice for realizing these things? There is Mahāli. Well, what is that? It is simply the Noble Eightfold Path, that is right view, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right immersion. This is the path and the practice for realizing these things. Here, Bhante Vimramsi has really written Noble Eightfold Path in TWIM version, in the sense in understanding in relation with the practice. And Bhante uses the word harmonious instead of right. And basically these in Noble Eightfold Path are nothing but Sila, Samadhi and Panya. These are three interrelated. Sila means practicing the precept, Samadhi means practicing the meditation, Panya means like developing of like getting of wisdom because of practicing the meditation, cultivating the wisdom. Like I would like to show one tabular form where there's a TWIM brochure where one can see. I want to show that brochure. I think we have in our Dhammasukha website. I would like to show here. Yes, this is the TWIM booklet which recently it was utilized in our meditation courses. I would like to show this Noble Eightfold Path, how it is getting related. It's a very good booklet. If someone just can read it, go through it whenever they feel. Everything is explained here. Right effort, walking meditation, hindrances, Four Noble Truths. This is the one thing which this is a this is the Eightfold Path which is divided into Sila, Samadhi, and Panya. Sila is right speech and right action, right livelihood comes under Sila. Samadhi means right effort, mindfulness, and concentration. Panya means getting the right understanding and right thought. Here, right view or harmonious perspective, like what is exactly the right view is in our TWIM perspective, what we need to see is right view is seeing the impersonal nature of everything is nothing but a right view, having a right view or a harmonious perspective, which Bante uses. Bante uses this harmonious word because if someone says the right, in back of the mind there's a wrong thing which is uh, being there in in our mind. Therefore Bante uses the word harmonious. Harmonious in view is perspective, harmonious perspective. Bante's intention is to use this harmonious perspective in terms of having an impersonal nature of everything. Next, right intention or harmonious imaging. Holding a wholesome, uplifted image or intention in mind. Like for new student, we say to smile and be with the loving kindness. Harmonious imaging. Loving kindness is a very wholesome. Right speech or harmonious communication is being kind in our thoughts, speech, and action. This is a complete form of communication. Like having a thought and getting into a speech and getting into action. And when you make this everything kindful, it will become a right speech or harmonious communication. And right action or harmonious movement is cultivating a balanced movement of mind's attention. Like what I can understand is, like when you practice the meditation, uh, you can see how the mind moves from one thing to another thing. Like in your daily routine also, you can just observe where our mind is going. Next, right livelihood or harmonious lifestyle is following a vacation lifestyle that does not harm others, following a vocation or lifestyle that doesn't harm others and allow space and time for spiritual development. right effort or harmonious practice, applying 6 hours. Like right effort, he is applying what effort which we make doing the practice or doing the daytime is applying the 6 hours. Next, right mindfulness or harmonious observation. Like what I said was observing how mind's attention moves away from wholesome state to suffering. Like when you are meditation, when hindrances arises, basically your object of meditation gets entirely changes to hindrances. Like having an attention that when your mind is moving from this state is nothing but having a harmonious observation. Then right concentration and harmonious collection is very important factor. Establishing and maintaining a productive level of concentration and focus for your life and practice neither too tight nor too loose. Here, even David Johnson says that whenever you, let us say, my hand is my object of meditation. And when we should not be very close to our object of meditation or very far from the object of meditation. We should be in such a state that we are just aware that we are with the object of meditation. Let us say some hindrance arises, our object of meditation goes. Again, we come back in such a way that we are not neither too close to our object of meditation, too loose to our object of meditation. We are with the object of meditation. This is today's discussion, which next time we can read, we can continue this discussion. Like anyone wants to have a discussion or anyone want to ask some question, they are free. Otherwise, we will share the merit. Sharing merit. Yes, we are opening sharing merit. Yes, we can share the merit now that may beings be happy. We can read all together. May suffering ones be suffering free, and the fear struck fearless be. May the grieving shed all grief, and may all beings find relief. May all beings share this merit that we have thus acquired for the acquisition of all kinds of happiness. May beings inhabiting space and earth, devas and nagas of mighty power, share this merit of ours. May they long protect the Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thanking you all for joining. I wish all happiness to all. Thank you, Paul sir. Thank you, Gopinath sir. Thank you, Pai. Thanking you all. Bye bye.
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 Bye, sir.